Tonight, joined by the one, the only Coombsy. Coombsy, how we feeling after that one? Kind of your initial thoughts.
It's unfortunate all those Leafs fans are going to get to go home happy. It felt like a home game for Toronto. It was a little bit rough hearing the "Go Leafs, Go" chant in the first period. We made one of our points in the pre-gaming show. We said the Oilers have to have a good start in the first period so they can establish themselves as the home team. Otherwise, the Leafs fans are going to go nuts. Leafs scored 3 goals in the first period, and it felt like they were the home team the rest of the way.
It really did. The fact you have to hear Skinner in your own bar, in your hometown city of Stuart Skinner, that has to suck.
That is ugly. Yeah, you were born and raised here. You're playing for your hometown team, and you're getting jeered by the opposing team's fan in your home arena. The Oilers need to have a better start in this game, and that's what sunk them. They played well in the second half of the game, but when did they have their first high-danger chance? It was 15 outside shots in the first period. Took until more than halfway through the game for them to get an actual quality scoring chance.
I would agree with that. Second period, the wave happened, but they get 18 shots in that period. A number of them were from far away. We got a super chat. Can't bring Rusty down because he's a reckless optimist. Reminder, all your super chats are in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation. Rusty says, let the Leafs have this one. When the Oilers lift the cup in June, we will have the last laugh. They haven't done anything since 1967. Cup year. Because it is a cup year. So the Leafs, this one kind of sucks. Earmuffs. Leafs are 12-3-2 in their last 17 games against the Edmonton Oilers. I mentioned the 6th time they've swept the season series since Connor McDavid has been an Oiler. And once again, Coombsy, the Oilers pepper the opposition in shots. It was the same case on Thursday. That one ended up losing in a shootout, at least got a point. But tonight, they couldn't find a way. And I think it's pretty fair to say that the Edmonton Oilers got goalied this evening by Joseph Woll.
Yeah, Joseph Woll was spectacular, especially in the third period. But, I mean, as I said in my last point, like the Oilers had, it's 48 shots on goal they had in total in this game, 67 shot attempts. But according to Natural Stat Trick, 8 high-danger scoring chances for the Oilers in this entire game. So it's the same thing as the Detroit game. They had a lot of possession. They had a lot of time in the offensive zone, but they weren't going to the dirty areas and winning those battles in front of the net, winning space and time in front of the net. They weren't doing those things they have to do. Like if you're kind of a snake bit team, then you got to go score an ugly goal, and that's just not really where the Oilers were tonight.
It was all doomed at the start. We talked on pre-gaming. I was all excited for a close contested game, looking for some back and forth action, maybe a couple lead changes in there. And this one did not go to plan. Down 3-0, 13 minutes into the game. The Oilers giving pucks out like candy in their own defensive end. It was brutal, allowing those Leafs players, we talked, they are the most top-heavy unit. Those top 2 lines can do the damage. Guys in the bottom 6, not as much, but so many Oilers turnovers in their own end allowed so much time and space to those skilled players of the Leafs. And then you add in taking 2 minor penalties in the first period. I said it. My key to victory going into this was limiting those best players. How do you do that? Playing good defensively, 5v5, getting the matchups you want on home ice, but more specifically, not taking penalties and allowing them to go out there with the man advantage, because they did exactly what you thought the Leafs would do. They go 2 for 2 in the first 20 minutes, eventually going up 3-0 in there, but all of that combined together is not a recipe for success. And right, much of January was plagued by shitty first periods from the Edmonton Oilers. I felt like we had stepped away from that in the last week and a half kind of thing, and tough to see the Edmonton Oilers fall back in their old ways in this one.
Yeah, it's frustrating because this is also that 6-game homestand we've been looking forward to for a while. They played, I think,
longest of the season.
Yeah, what was it, 7 or 8 games? They played 7 or 8 consecutive games in different cities, flying around all over the place, and we were looking forward to this stretch here, thinking, here's 6 games at home, you can get into a nice groove, but seems like they got a little bit too cozy here and just had these slow starts, and it resulted in this homestand. 6 games, they only win 3.
Yeah, that is pretty disappointing when you look at it. Now we have to switch over to the month of February, and we're starting off with a big orange L, Brett. Oh, no, do you have it? All right, give it to me. Oh!
Yikes.
Oh. Boo! Oh. Yeah, that's a tough one. Remember, we got a Tuesday game against the Blues, Wednesday against Chicago. I head to Arizona on Thursday, and then the Colorado Avalanche on Friday, where Coombsy, you will be doing the post-game show. But, right, the second period was a very different story, I will say. I call Chris Knobloch the king of second-period adjustments, and he was back at it once again. I do not know what the pep talk speech was in that locker room, but it worked. The Oilers came out like a completely different team. The ice had been completely tilted. The Oilers did have a number of chances, but Joseph Woll was there pretty much every single time he needed to be, making fantastic save after fantastic save. In the second, the Oilers do get a goal. They do find a way to make it a 2-goal lead, and you're feeling pretty confident heading into the third period. And then Coombsy, 18 seconds into that, Mitch Marner goes down, slices and dices through what feels like the entire Edmonton Oilers defense. That camera cut to the Oilers bench. That was a bunch of sad boys panning across. And then they cut away from it too soon, but the camera guy was about to zoom in on Jeff Skinner with the saddest of sad faces. But
he looked shell-shocked.
He looked like he had just seen someone die. Like, it was crazy. It's like, Jeff, there's still 19 minutes. You'll still be okay. Either way, point being, felt like had the Oilers, kept that second period effort, that nice stretch they had that been in the first period, and you brought that same energy for the first 20 seconds of this one, the Oilers would have been in this, because that goal, that Marner goal in the third period, was so deflating in that building. That's when Leafs fans were back on the Oilers' ass once again. Skinner chant started, go Leafs go. It was lost right there in those 18 seconds.
Yeah, it's like the Oilers had two different bad starts in this game. They allowed the 3 goals in the first period. They had a crappy start. Leafs take control of the game. Second period, they kind of do their thing, get back into it. And you think you're going into the third period down 3-1, but you've just had a really good second period. You're going to come out and be the better team in the third and, try and mount a comeback. But they were completely asleep again at the beginning of the third, and the Leafs capitalized. That winds up being the game-winning goal. If not for that, goal where you're asleep at the beginning of the third, then you just score 2 and you tie the game. You don't need the fourth, and it's completely different. But it's just 2 different bad starts, 2 different times they were completely asleep at the wheel.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.